Today we're going to be doing yet another update on our camera bag here. We're going to do it a little bit differently this time, and we're going to go ahead and assemble the camera bag. And while I'm doing so, I'll go through and tell you everything that's different, some of the quirks about my stuff, or how they're set up or something like that. We're going to go ahead and start with the back pocket here, and typically what goes in here is just extra bits. So alcohol pads, those go in there towards one side. We have a microfiber cloth here that's on kind of the rougher side, sort of. If you need something big to clean off, go ahead and use this. And then we also just have some extra bits of hardware here. This one is for some neck straps or whatever. Those go ahead and slide right on in to there. Don't keep a lot there since this is right on your back. However, there is a lot of padding along the back here. And as someone who has taken this backpack on walks to different rail fanning spots, I can say it's decent. The comfortability of it is pretty decent. Turning this around here, we're gonna flip this open. Doing my best to show everything here. Interesting angle. This is up right now, so that we have the view of this here. Starting off with the stuff that goes on the bottom here. We have various cables here. This phone as well also goes in to this pocket here. This cable is for the R100 charger. This one here is micro B in the event that I need that for something. This one here is a USB-C cable, and then here we have another USB-C cable. And this lot of cables here is just going right on the bottom like so. And then, as I said, the phone will also get slid into that pocket. This bigger pocket up here is for all this stuff. Okay, so have an extra set of caps here, right? Okay, those get carefully slid in. Have a hot shoe here for the good tripod. Slides into the bottom here. So have some cleaning spray that admittedly should be replaced here soon, as along with a much finer microfiber. Those get thrown in here. Have a neck strap with one of these quick release type things. Unclip it, loop it into itself, and then loop it through the attachment on the camera for adding the stuff like this, and then loop it through, and then it's good to go. Much faster system for neck strap. I don't use a neck strap all that often, as you will see here in a little bit, but it is there if I need it for whatever reason. Here we also have a compact flash and SD card reader. USB-A and USB-C so that I can move some JPEGs over to my phone if I so choose. And that gets zipped up there. This bag also allows you to hide or protect the zippers like so, if one chooses to. I have been using this bag for a while now. I like it a lot. I like it a lot more than my previous bag. This is the KNF bag. You can find it on Amazon. It's 60-70 bucks, something like that. It's a good bag. Really like it a lot, especially in this teal. Yes. Alright, so let's go with some of the boring stuff here. Which charger is this? This is the R100 charger. That gets slid right into that pocket there. 5D charger slid there, if I remember correctly. Charging brick with 2 USB-A's and 2 USB-C's. in there. Extra eyepiece for the 5D. Just slide that in right down in there, as well as backup SD cards. There's a 32 gigabyte Lexar and then a 128 gigabyte micro SD in there. These are just backups in case I need the storage. Battery wise, we have 3 R100 batteries. Did not mean to move that over. Alright. 3 R100 batteries. And then 4 batteries for the 5D and 7D. We're going to take 2 of these R100 batteries. We're going to cram those in like so. We're actually going to, yes, just like that. Cram them in like so. I say cram, but they fit fairly well. Then we're going to take 3 of these batteries and carefully lay them in like such. I had a system for this. Like this, possibly. I already forgot how I did it. Well, that's fun. Go with that for the moment. Put those in like so. We're going to keep these 2 off to the side. For the rest of the memory cards here, this one goes into the 7D Mark II. This one goes into the 5D Mark III. Eventually, these 2 will get paired into the 5D, and then I'll have a set of 64 gig cards to go with the 7D, since they do have 2 card slots. We're going to utilize that, but to save a little bit of money, just a little bit, we'll go 64 gigs on the other camera. And if there's a day or a shoot or something where that camera gets used more than the other one, then we'll just swap the cards for storage and such. Moving on here to the bodies. Actually, let's go with the mic. Here we have a MXL FR310. Takes AAAs. And this just gets gently stuffed in here. The way it's angled, it's actually not resting on this, which is very good. The tricky part of it, if I'm being completely honest with you, is trying to keep that windsock on there. Carefully tuck in our wire, drop in our battery. Now that is all set to go. Now we will go ahead and do the camera bodies. This is the Canon R100. It has a RF2EF lens adapter constantly on it. I use this mostly for video, but I do have it programmed for shooting trains as well. And shooting trains is the main thing I do. I do a little bit of wildlife here and there when I'm out fishing if I'm feeling up for it, but for the most part, this is all just to shoot trains. Yes, it is absolutely overkill. Camera gear has turned into its own hobby outright for me. So I just like doing all this. Mainly use this R100 for video. We also notice that we have a wrist strap here. This is because I hate neck straps. I do not like how they feel on my neck. They get in the way of my hair, and so yeah, wrist straps. Why do I have it on the left instead of the right? I can't get it to rotate around how I like on the right side with all this. So I actually have it on my left wrist. That way I'm still able to do everything with the lens and all that while still having the protection. And in the event that I don't want them on there, they have this neat thing on them that can be used to easily take them off, like so. The R100 goes right in here as the eyepiece folds into this kind of indent there for the one lens pocket. R100 doesn't really have a fantastic method of getting this in like so. That'll work. But that's fine. And this mic will get put on this R100 along with 2 other lenses. So yeah, there's that. The next body we will go over is our 7D Mark II. The R100 kind of has, or the R series of Canon cameras kind of has this red and black thing going on, so that's why I went with that. Purple is my second favorite color, and they didn't have straight purple, so I just went with purple and white. We'll see how dirty that white gets over time, but here we have the 7D Mark II. APS-C 20 megapixel camera, weather sealed and all that, right? This camera, if you leave the battery in it for too long, with this specific one here, it won't turn on unless you leave it without a battery for about 2 days. So for some reason, keeping a battery in it disables its usability. Don't know why. It's just kind of quirky about this specific camera. I got this one for 90 bucks. Other than that issue, it works fine. So store the battery outside of the camera and it'll work fine. The reason why I have an APS-C and a full frame I will get to in a little bit, but I do have a reason for it, albeit again overkill. Here we have a Canon 5D Mark III, this one with a blue strap, as blue is my favorite color. Here we have full frame, 22 megapixel full frame body. And this one, go ahead, this one I can store the battery inside of. And then it's also just showing what cards goes in each camera, right? Okay. And now we have our full frame 5D that I mostly use for close-up shots. Typically, when I say close-up, I mean typically within like 75 millimeters or something like that. I forgot to throw these in here real quick, so I will go ahead and do that. Have one of the 3 R100 batteries, and then SD card. Of course, I forget how I had that. We'll go with that. Alright, so we have our 3 bodies. Let's go ahead and start with lenses, and I guess we'll start with the full frame ones. Okay. Just making sure I have them all. Is it just these 2? Yes. Okay. We will start with the main lens here. This is the main one that I use for the 5D Mark III. This is an older Tamron 28 to 75 millimeter. The reason I got this is because it's f2.8, right? And the lens is fairly sharp, like decent, like really decently sharp throughout the whole image. This thing takes great photos. If you want something that's pretty freaking sharp and pretty freaking clear, but don't want to spend the money for a Canon L series EF lens, try this out. Try this out, and especially if you can find them for $100. Or I got this one for 140, but I've seen them go for $100. If you can buy it for $100, try it out and decide you don't like it, you can resell that thing for 120, 130, 140, maybe even $150, right? Okay, so at the very least, if you don't like it, you can try and flip it. I like this lens. Am I still looking at getting an L series? Canon lens, yeah, but like, you know, 28 to 75 millimeters, f2.8 for shooting trains. This one's definitely doing it for me. Really happy with that. Next up is the lens I was using before that. This is just a normal Canon 28 to 135 ultrasonic, 28 to 135 millimeter. I want to say it's like f3.5 to either 5.6 or 6.3. I can never remember which one this is. But this was the lens I was using before, and oftentimes when you're shooting trains, you have the locomotive in the center of the image, and for this lens, the center of the image is decently sharp. Like, I'd say almost as sharp as this one. But as you spread out through the image, it gets a little softer. There's a bit of vignetting, and there's a bit of color fringing. So this one is good for in the middle of the photo. The rest of it is kind of a little buggy. And the reason this one is still here is because it's 28 to 135 millimeter versus 28 to 75 millimeter. If I need a little more zoom or a little more range, then I have that with this one. So I use them interchangeably. Most of the time I use this one, but when the opportunity is, when it's necessary to have more zoom range, we'll go with that one. Okay, so next up, this is a Tamron 2X teleconverter. This one is only really in the bag still because it's kind of a placeholder for something else. At some point soonish, I'm hoping I'm gonna get a 24 millimeter EFS f2.8 that I can throw on this guy. Or this guy, right? But I can throw on this guy's to have a nice compact setup, while still being able to have the EF mount on there, right? Okay, so that's why I'm getting that. I also just want to try to use prime lenses a little bit more. So yeah, that's gonna come, and that's gonna go where this guy is currently going, which is down in there. So at some point, that 24 millimeter is gonna go down in there. Excuse me. Here we have a Canon EF 50 millimeter Mark II, I believe, f1.8, and at some point this is going to get swapped out for a 50 millimeter f1.4. Why? Because you can get them on average for 130 bucks, and I kind of really want one for no reason. Plus, some of these lenses, this one included, is going to get turned into a kit for someone else, probably. So, yeah. Eventually, that's going to get swapped out for a lens. This is going to get swapped out for a f1.4. Next up here is this guy. This is a Canon, or sorry, this is a Tamron 17 to 50 millimeter EFS f 2.8. This is a fairly nice lens. Now, it's not super sharp. It's not super sharp. It's good for low light. Like for low light stuff, I will throw this APS-C lens onto this onto the 7D because it's APS-C. So if I need low light zoom, 1000% using this. But for just normal stuff, it's not that sharp. So this is actually turned into the main video lens for the R100. Because for video, this lens looks great with video. It's just with pictures, it's not the sharpest, but it looks great with video. So this lens typically gets paired with the R100 here. Next up is this lens. Now, Some people don't like this lens, which is fair. It has a lot of blue color fringing. But for telephoto shots, I do really like this a lot. It is 18 to 270 millimeters. It is f 3.5 to 6.3. But for what I'm using it for, which is trains, I like this a lot. When I'm shooting with the 7D for trains, I'm mostly using this lens, and I'm mostly using it in the probably 150 to 270 millimeter range. It's decently sharp. It picks up a decent amount of detail. It has that blue color fringing, but when you're looking at it on social media, it's not easy to pick up on. You know, it's not super easy to tell. Some people will notice it, obviously. Like someone who knows what they're looking for stuff, they'll note, or for images, right? They'll notice it. But oh my, hold on. Alright, the camera is back straight, and I finally got this sun hood on. Anyway, long story short, not the best lens ever, but if you're looking for something with a zoom of 18 to 270 millimeters for trains, like this lens a lot. Mostly pair with that one. I like that. I like that lens a lot. It's my favorite lens for the Canon color science and long distance shooting of a train. It's a workhorse. I love it. And then in the final slot here, we have this Sigma. As we can see here, I am not loyal to any lens brand at all. Is a Sigma 10 to 20 millimeter f4.2 f5.6. That's all the throw. It's not a lot of throw. And this lens is kind of the widest you can go without having a crazy amount of fisheye effect. Yeah, it does have a little bit of fisheye effect. At 20 millimeters, it's pretty flat. At 15 millimeters, it kind of begins, and then at 10 millimeters, it's nice and wide, but again, it doesn't look super fisheye. So yeah, there's our main camera bag. 3 bodies, handful of lenses, bunch of batteries, got a microphone. And this is the main kit when I go rail fanning. I'll have this set up with this lens to shoot up close. I'll have this camera set up with this lens to shoot far away. And then I'll have this camera set up with this lens and this microphone to record the trains as they go by. Is it overkill? Yes. Do I love all this equipment? Yes, absolutely. And we're not even done yet. So now you may be asking, what do you mean you're not done yet? What else do you have? We have the lens bag for storing extra lenses, and in this case, an extra body as well. So let's go ahead and take a peek here. Honestly, there isn't really a whole lot going on. Like for example, this camera, this T5i that I've just kind of had as a backup body, this is going to be a part of that kit that is possibly going to someone else. This strap, again, part of that kit, possibly going to someone else. This 18 to 55 millimeter. I've been thinking about replacing this one with an 18 to 135 or an 18 to 200 EFS lens to go with the R100 if I want more zoom while taking video, right? So this is probably going to go into that kit. This I had bought after I bought that Canon lens. I had bought this to try and give me something similar to that 18 to 270 millimeter. So I went ahead and got this 28 to 300 older Tamron lens, and it's okay. There's not a lot of color fringing, which is good. It's fairly soft. It's not that sharp. But if you're looking for that zoom range, it does give you that. And again, it looks decent. It's just a little soft when you go zooming in. But on an APS-C sensor, this has I want to say it was like 36 or 42 millimeters or something like that, to 480 millimeters on a crop sensor camera. So this is going to be a part of this kit, because this is a full frame lens, so you have that 1.6x crop factor. This is going to be a part of that kit. So if the 1855 isn't enough, we have the 42, I think, to 480 millimeters. So it's going to give that person a nice range of different stuff to choose from. Excuse me. So you can pretty much rule those three out. I was probably gonna sell this one anyway. And like I said, this one I'm gonna replace. So one of these pockets is technically claimed by another lens. So that opens up two pockets here. I'll get to this one last. This T5i charger, that's gonna go with that kit. These two extra T5i batteries, again, that's gonna go with that kit. These are the caps for that RF adapter. This in here is another T5i charger, that's gonna go in that kit. So this is all that's left at the moment. So coming into here, I guess we'll start with this. This is a Minolta MC 28 millimeter with the EF adapter on it. So if I ever want to go full manual with a lens, I have that ability. It also has a ring expander on there for this, and then as well as that UV thing. This is just caps for that Minolta lens. Two AA batteries for my first camera. This does live in the lens bag. It's a SP. It's an Olympus SP 320, 7.1 megapixels, f2.8 to 4.98 to 24 millimeter. Interesting little camera. Interesting little camera. And that just lives in that pocket with the vintage lens. I do have more vintage lenses. I don't know if I'm going to sell them or not. So they might end up back in this camera bag. They might not. It's not entirely sure yet. Or all this vintage stuff, my 3 vintage lenses and this, might get thrown into a completely different small camera bag. Unsure yet. Here we have a Pro Master Spectrum 7, 100 to 400 millimeters. I got this for 35 bucks off of eBay when I was first starting out. Everything's kind of a little blue through this lens, but if I need that reach for whatever reason, I have it, and it also does work fairly decently with that teleconverter, so it's nice to know that that works out. And then the last thing here, we have a Sigma 70 to 300 millimeter f4 to 5.6. And I got this because I wasn't happy with this one. So that's where this one came from. Fairly happy with it, to be honest. So yeah, if I want to use this for full frame telephoto, or if I want to go full frame telephoto, I just use this guy, and it's taken some interesting pictures. Very happy with this setup here. Real happy. That's gonna be it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask them down in the comments. I want to kind of do a little thing where I kind of, explain what my camera journey was, if that makes sense at all. I'm a very budget person. kind of. And I don't like spending too much money in one place, right? If that makes sense at all. And it's just getting to this point was interesting with my camera stuff. And I also want to talk about it in ways of like, you don't gotta spend, I forgot a lens, you don't gotta spend a whole lot of money to take good photos, especially if you're doing trains. I also just want to talk about train photography as well, because it's kind of this weird spot when it comes to photography. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed. We will see you in the next one. Feel free to like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions. And that's it for this one. We will see you in the next one. Have a good one, guys.